Better strap yourself in. It's time for the Howie Carr Show.
The president never thought it was going to be perfect upon arrival.
Do you want me to read you the
live
quote?
in a democracy. No legislation is perfect. All of us who worked on it knew that when it was finished, there were issues we would have to address down the line, that we would learn about problems and we'd have to fix them. Congress just was, the Republicans were totally intransigent about fixing
Nobody believes
problems
you,
as
Doctor.
Live from an undisclosed location.
Donald Trump got elected by essentially ignoring all the norms of campaigning, and I think that he's not going to stop now. He's going to continue to do what he wants to do, including this. And he may find it relaxing. The danger is when you're president, I've said this many times with you and others, the things you say can send armies marching and markets tumbling.
Unchained and unstoppable.
We need to hold Trump accountable for anything he does that encourages hate and division. Because think about it, again, he does not have a popular vote mandate. And the more extreme he is, the more people fight back, the more it takes away his power.
Who do you love? Howie Carr.
We compete hard in campaigns in America and here in Greece. But after the election, democracy depends on a peaceful transition of power, especially when you don't get the results you want.
Rump swabs, hacks, and moonbats beware. It's Howie Carr.
Afternoon. This is the Howie Carr Show, and let's start out with some sound cuts from the Emanuel brothers, Ram and Ezekiel. And you just heard part of the one from the mayor of Chicago. This is the mayor. Now remember, this is the mayor of Chicago. They call him the Godfather. I would say this is his last term. I don't think there's any way he could possibly get elected. This is a guy who had a police department that killed an unarmed black youth. I mean, this wasn't a gentle giant type of deal at Ferguson. I mean, this kid was gunned down in cold blood, and there was an uproar about it. And they paid off the family, and just to try to keep it hushed up until after the election, where he had raised about $50 million, and he was running against the Hispanic union leader, community organizer, who had about $3. And yet he still barely beat him. So they hushed it up until after the election, and then they announced that after Rahm was barely reelected. Okay? So now Rahm is trying to get to the left. Maybe he thinks he can run for another term. I don't know. I wouldn't recommend it. And by the way, he brought in to investigate the police department after they finally announced what was going on. They brought in to run the Civilian Review Board or whatever it was to write the Blue Ribbon Commission report. They brought in the former governor of Massachusetts, Deval Patrick. Ha, 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 ha. I know. This is the kind of guy he is, right? Okay, so this is Rahm Emanuel on Chicago, the mayor of Chicago, on how they're going to remain a sanctuary city. You just heard Greg Gutfeld, too. I mean, he pointed out gun violence is out of control in Chicago, totally out of control. They fired the police commissioner at least once, maybe twice, just because nobody can get a handle on this, and it's just terrible what's going on. Kids are getting gunned, not just gang members. Kids are getting gunned down in the street. The passersby are hit by stray bullets at the stoplights and on Lakeshore Drive up in the nicer part of town, shall we say? And Rahm Emanuel is concerned about keeping Chicago a sanctuary. And by the way, Chicago and the state of Illinois are broke, totally broke, because the new Republican governor is trying to get a handle on this thing, but they've made so many bad union contracts and pension deals over the years that it would take, just to get straight, just to get on the level with the fire department pensions, it would take $50,000 from every family in the city of Chicago. $50,000 to put the fire department pension fund back in the black. 50,000 per household. And there are a lot of poor people in Chicago. But this guy's worried about sanctuary cities.
To be clear about what Chicago is, it always will be a sanctuary city. To all those who are
sanctuary
after
city.
Tuesday's
How about
election,
taxpayers?
very nervous.
Where's the sanctuary for
filled
taxpayers?
with anxiety has been spoken to. You are safe in Chicago. You are secure in Chicago, and you are supported in Chicago.
Can somebody say non compos mentis, not of sound mind? But wait, there's more. His brother, Dr. Ezekiel Emanuel, also known as Dr. Death, one of the architects of the Unaffordable Care Act. So he's been making the rounds of all the, I don't know why he goes on. He goes on and gets his head handed to him, first by Maria Bartiromo, and then last night by Tucker Carlson, the new guy. Well, he's not a new guy, but he's got his own show now on Fox News Channel at 7 o'clock in Greta Van Sustern's slot. So he had a meltdown, basically. He just he started yelling about his slide. Like I don't know. It's like, all these demonstrators have their little therapy puppies, and Dr. Emanuel has a slide that he takes around to everybody.
The right chart makes it a little bit easier for me to pay my health insurance premiums every month,
Show me. Listen. Okay, so he's complaining that he what did he do? How did he bring the chart there, by the way?
Well, I think he emailed them the slides. He emailed them like a PowerPoint presentation.
I like to think he just brought them in a bag, a brown bag, and just handed them to Tucker or the producer and said, "Can you show these slides?" Listen to it. Listen to this.
The president never thought it was going to be perfect upon arrival.
Do you want me to read you the
We live
quote?
in a democracy. No legislation is perfect. All of
I'm
us
not
who
the
worked
first
on it
president
knew
to
that
take
when it
this
was
up.
finished,
I am
there
determined
were
to be the
issues
last.
we would have to address down the line, that we would learn about problems, and we'd have to fix them. Congress the Republicans were totally intransigent about fixing
Nobody believes
problems
you, Doctor.
as they arose.
We all watched this happen, and I'm sorry, you would have much more credibility if you would just say, we were kind of wrong about some things. You can't keep your doctor. It's more expensive than we thought it was going to be. Healthy people have to subsidize it. Instead,
Actually,
you blame
it's
the
not
right
more
wing
expensive than we thought. Could you please show my
this
slide,
is sad,
Tucker?
and I would expect more from someone who's an eminent doctor,
Show
honestly.
my slide. Tucker,
show
the slide I gave you to put up here.
Okay.
Are you showing the slide?
I'm sorry, there's your slide right there.
I am Dr. Baghdad Bob. There are no American tanks in Baghdad as I speak, and the premiums are going down, even in Arizona. So keep going with this stuff. Cut 3.
You're trying to force them to do something they don't want to do. You're telling them it's a good deal, but they don't believe it's a good deal. Why don't they believe that?
Yeah, and a lot of them haven't explored what the deal is. They've heard your rhetoric that it's not a good deal, and they haven't actually seen. Most of them, if they're not earning a lot of money...
Wait, so you're saying that I've convinced people that Obamacare isn't as great as it really is? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, there's certainly been a lot of very bad rhetoric and very bad attacks on it, rather than give it its fair shake.
Are you going to blame right-wing talk radio?
I do think we can actually make the deal better.
You haven't given it a fair shake. There's a lot of bad rhetoric, and there's a lot of bad first-class envelopes in the mail. And then when you open the envelopes, there's a 110% increase in your premiums.
They are not near Baghdad.
He told me, he didn't repeat this one last night, but he told Maria Bartiromo over the weekend, there's only one state where the premiums have gone up 100%. Wow. That's good. He and his brother both belong in straitjackets. They do. These people, 8 years ago, Ezekiel and Rahm Emanuel were the new face of the Democrat Party. Now their aides are telling them, keep your arms out. It'll make it harder to throw a net over both of you. These guys have lost their mind. Chicago is a safe place, and Obamacare is working.
Ha, 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 ha.
Are there any other siblings in that family? I think I ran into one today on the street in Boston. He was talking to himself, and he had spittle all over he hadn't shaved in 25 years, and he reeked of fortified wine. That's the Emmanuel family. What is wrong with these people? 1-844-500-4242. Ted, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Ted, on the General Communications listener line.
Howie, now that you're one of the beautiful people, I'm sure you're aware of the beach clubbing in Edgartown, right?
I'm not familiar with. Okay, go ahead. Tell me. We're talking about Cape Cod. Yeah, go ahead.
No, it's in Edgartown. It's where the Jaws was shown.
Right, Martha's Vineyard.
Well, all the little Martha's Vineyard, and about 25 years ago, Trump came up. They had one of those giant yachts that you were referring to a couple of days ago, and he wanted to let his kids swim at the beach. And he said, no, it's private, you can't. And he says, well, I'll buy a membership. He says, no, it's private, you can't. I thought you'd get a kick out of that.
Well, he offered to buy a membership. That's kind of funny, I think, It's amazing how many people have stories about Donald Trump. I'm learning over the last week or so. Everybody that calls me up, and I mean, it's like I'm not running the transition team. I'm not even running. Some people seem to be operating under this misapprehension that I'm running the transition team in New England, but I'm not. I have the number. I'll call me off air and I'll give you the number of the guy. I'm not even sure who's running the transition team in New England. I'm just looking. All I'm looking for is, again, maitre d' at Mar-a-Lago. That's all I ask. I want to stay. I don't want a job in the bureaucracy. I don't want a job in some kind of nonprofit. I want to stay in the dreaded private sector. Thanks for the call, Ted. John, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, John.
Hey, Howie.
Hi.
It's great listening to these Democrats come on Unhinged. It's so funny. I'm having such a good time listening to it. Just everywhere from Rahm Emanuel to the normal Democrat at work, people are going bananas. It's awesome. But I'm not going to – I would like to see John Kerry be governor, because what's the difference between John Kerry and Charlie Baker? At least you can write some good columns on John Kerry, and I can get some good comic relief in the morning. Because Charlie Baker, as far as I'm concerned, I know a lot of people who will not ever vote for him again because he didn't even bother to vote or support the Republican candidate for President Donald Trump. So I just want to get your take on that. I would like to see John Kerry run against Charlie Baker, and honestly, John Kerry will win because the Republicans will stay home when Charlie Baker runs again.
John, someone tweeted out there, texted me in the last hour, said, what's the difference between John Kerry and Charlie Baker? About 1.5 inches. Really. I mean, what is the difference? I mean, Kerry is a little taller. I mean, they're both pretty tall, but I think Kerry's a little taller, though. But you're right. I mean, why didn't he at least write in Chris Christie's name? He was involved in that whole thing with giving money to Chris Christie. That was like a mini, grade C scandal, giving money when he was running for governor. I don't know if it was Kerry giving him money. I mean, Christie giving him money or vice versa. But, it was a big story down in the New Jersey media. And, so why didn't he just say, I'm writing in Christie's name? I mean, they're buddies. Why can't they do that? And I think his company got a contract in Jersey. This is Charlie Baker, the governor of Massachusetts, when he was out of office. He got a contract in Jersey or his company did, from Christie's administration. Thanks for the call, John. I know a lot of people feel that way. They're kind of angry at Charlie Baker. 1-844-500-4242. And then he comes back to the state this morning. He's been out of state, and he rips Bannon. Did you see that? Yeah, print that story out for me so I can have it. I'm Howie Carr.
That's right, Howie Carr.